All right, and we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first testing session of this off-season for the Sundrop Cup Series. We got a record-setting 40 cars taking part in this one. Of course, the truck one, I believe, was 39, so this now breaks the record. We have basically a full field that you'll be seeing at Pocono testing this weekend. 30-minute testing session, of course, 40 drivers, and we got a lot of drivers to discuss about these new moves over the offseason, as well as many drivers graduating up to Cup Series, some leaving, some changing rides. We got a lot to cover here in these 30 minutes. Starting off, though, already pretty much ahead of everyone else as soon as the green flag waved for this testing session, Peter Onjak, your runner-up for the championship, is out front first. He is in this 44 again this season for Onjado, has had a very strong career, and of course was the basically champion, had the championship gift wrap to him at Kansas until Nicky Morris went Nicky Morris. The 44 car is bad fast. It has the bad fast driver back in that number 44. Peter is sure ready to go ahead and take another fight this year for a championship against Jay Jefferson. And if you remember, of course, we always mention it, the Onjado curse is they can't win on an even numbered season. They didn't last year, they didn't in 4, and they didn't in season 2, but they won in season 1, 3, and 5. This is season 7. Could this be Onjak's chance at redemption this year? We're just going to go ahead and go through the field from here, allow the standings to start up. That is Cody Goforth in the 17 car for Butcher Gatorade Motorsports. This 17 team is the 77 from last season with Diego Yepes in the car. Diego goes back to Monster to go try to win the title over there, but Cody Goforth moves from North Border Motorsports, who shut down their cup operation after Diego Yepes basically bought out their cup program. Monster gave North Border Motorsports their trucks and Mountain Dew Custom Series, as well as Mac Johnson Motorsports their cup and or their truck and Xfinity vehicles. So Cody Goforth now at Butcher Gatorade Motorsports, joining a very elite lineup that we'll talk about as this race continues on. You see a lot more cars coming on out. We'll just try to make do with what we have. Austin Johnson full-time in the 35 this year. Interesting strategy call, taking the driver who, Jose Perez, the GDI savior, really the driver that built this team with Gatlin Downey, does not get the promotion to Cup after he comes back from injury. It's instead the guy that crashed him into the wall at Kentucky and broke his legs. Austin Johnson in this 35, he has been reckless, and he is under, still, the NSDCA is watching him during this off-season testing because they do not want this 35 driver to be taking out any more drivers. So Gatlin Downey Incorporated, they have a fast car, they have a fast team. We'll see if Austin Johnson could be a good match for this number 35. Further back, there's Sebastian Kukalon. This is actually Burkhart's equipment, which is interesting to see that Burkhart not in the dominant equipment anymore. It's Sebastian Kukalon. 2 wins last year in the number 20 for Sauber Racing Team in the Crown Royal Truck Series. Here in the Cup Series, he drove for his own team. This is the first season now he's driving in a top-tier series without the Rockstar Energy Motorsports branding. Of course, Red Bull Motorsports before, but that was still his same team. So we'll see if Kukalon can shine in the SBR equipment with SBR pace. And you see, as we were talking about Sauber Racing Team, they have topped the charts with Carter Friesen. 1 car blowing up on the bottom, and that is Joseph Strigley in the 63, an engine failure already on his. It looked like Bowers had a flat tire, and there is the 63 of Strigley, not having a good start to this offseason, blowing up and just going to try to make it back to pit road. Looking back here, Cyclone Motorsports gets a Sundrop Cup Series car. That's kind of shocking there. To see a team that only has ran Mountain Dew Custom Series competition with the 62 and 30, had a good run with Roger Ray in the Mountain Dew Custom Series last season, but now they have Chris Stottlemyre in the 62. I believe Chris is driving either their DPDS or Mountain Dew or Molson Modified car, but this is interesting to see Chris Stottlemyre out here. He's getting his licensing to run on bigger tracks. I don't know if he'd be the driver you want to put in this 62 car, especially after a very poor performance at BK Racing last year in the DPDS. So right now, that bright green machine, the number 62, Chris Stottlemyre, currently pacing around 19th quickest there, but he is now, 38 cars have put down a competitive lap time, so that is not a bad line at all for the 62 of Stottlemyre in their first attempt here in Cup Series competition. There's the driver who finally got a kickstart to his career last year and now begins his role as the lead driver at Butcher Gatorade Motorsports in his second season with them. Brandon Morris in the 55 won 2 races last season, was runner-up in the championship after Onjak got wrecked out, was chasing down Jefferson, just didn't have enough time and didn't have enough cars on track really to pass Jefferson for the title. But Morris in this 55, he's ready to come back this season, ready to take home some victories, see if he can get that going there for BGM. Dusty Neal was able to finally break through after his, I believe, 4th year in the series in the NSDCA. He is currently second quickest, only the second driver to break the 53-second mark, and you see the trucks are a lot faster than these Cup cars around here. But Dusty Neal in this 94, he got his win at Memphis last season, made the chase, and was competitive until Talladega when an engine failure cost him everything. Hoping to come back out here for CFRO, continue building their Cup program, and continue giving them as much experience as they can. Neal is a bad fast driver. We'll see if that 94 team can shock us again, make the chase again this season. Maddie Porta, in a shocking move, moves from Sauber Racing Team over to Monster Motorsports. A very unhappy, really, agreement with Sauber Racing Team. They did not know Porta was going to be gone until they reached out to him for a contract extension to drive the 20 again. Maybe that's coming off of a bad year in the chase. Remember, he had 2 wins last year heading into the chase for the championship. Ended up being horrible in the chase, was I believe last. I think he finished 12th in the standings, last out of the chasers. So he is at Monster Motorsports. But the bigger thing is, Castrol has left the 20 team. He's been with them since season number 2, 5 years, and he's gone. Castrol's gone. They did not follow him to Monster Motorsports, so maybe that'll be a further story we'll be able to see as this offseason progresses. Ryan Butcher is in the 88 for Texas Star Racing. Who would have thought that? After driving for Shade Burkhart Racing the last 2 years, he has not really ran too hot for the team. 0 wins. He has not won since he drove for his own team in Butcher Gatorade Motorsports, right now who's topped the charts with Cody Goforth and is in 10th with Brandon Morris. But this 88 team of Ryan Butcher is sure to be fast because it is a Texas Star Racing program, but this is a new car. They don't have upgrades on it. They weren't able to get any in the off-season, at least for now, and we'll see if this 88 team will be able to keep up and keep the pace going on this track. He currently sits 35th quickest out of 39 who have paced the field. And there's the one guy who has not made a lap yet. I believe this is his first one because he blew an engine on his opening lap. That's Joseph Strigley, the underdog at the road courses who can almost win races. He led at Atlanta, led at Pensacola, could have won both of those races had the races gone his way. And he is now out here making his first lap. This is his first hot lap. So this 63 team, it's much better equipment than we thought. Not sure if the 36 and 33 will be making returns. We know the 33 is not scheduled right now. I believe the 36 is running part of the season in the Cup Series with multiple drivers. William Duncan in the 33. This is a shocker. A driver from the Mountain Dew Custom Series with only 1 win in his career at Watkins Glen has made the jump to Cup racing. But hear us out. His truck campaign sucked. Dytek's truck program sucked. He blew engines. He crashed cars. I don't think he finished a race in that 29 truck in the 2 years that he competed with him. And now he's in Cup. He had the pace. This is the 87 car, or no, this is the 29 from last season. The 87 is now the 29. That was from Shade Burkhart Racing, but they put the better equipment, the Dytek car, on this full-time entry for William Duncan. He'll be fighting for the Rookie of the Year this season. Let's see if the road course winger can get himself up there. Kyle Corbett in the 61. This one is not a full-time ride, unlike his number 11 in Arclatex Motorsports in the Crown Royal Truck Series. Corbett in this 61 ran decently for the 61 team last year. Of course, their last start came with the ever interesting Benedict Mirdo III at Kansas. They did not have a good run there. I think finished a couple laps down. We'll see if Corbett can fight back in this number 61 this time around. Do much better. Eli Bright in the 8 car. This is basically the same car that they ran at Daytona last year outside of, just Daytona. I mean, it was the one-off car. That's basically the same equipment. It's both just base equipment. So this is the other Texas Star Racing driver who really needs to get some development in these testing sessions and try to run well. See, he's 20th quickest. That's great for a car that is base, everything. He's just trying to get these laps in, trying to go as fast as he can. It's not going to be as competitive as his truck equipment, so he might be focusing on that maybe this season and hoping for a cup run next year, but he will be a Rookie of the Year contender as well. And there is the king, Diego Yepes in the 77, who has lost his crown because Jefferson just outperformed him last year. We'll see what the 77 can do back on home soil, back with Monster Motorsports. We'll see if the 77 with that Chevy horsepower will be able to get him into victory lane. Chevy did not run well last season at all. Only got, I believe, 2 wins. That was Carter Friesen, I know, was one of them. The other one, Colton Lane was the other one for Monster Motorsports, and they won nothing else. DJ Curtis, who we're about to get to, didn't win either. So Diego's trying to inject some power back into Chevy, inject some power back into Monster Motorsports. DJ Curtis was the biggest bust last year in the battle for the championship. He missed the chase by, I believe it was 2 points at Chicagoland, which cost him a shot at the title. Then he and Carson Bowers, the top 2 that did not make the chase, went off in the chase. We'll see if DJ can make it this year with this Monster Motorsports team. They have 6 full-time cars in this field this season, so resources might be stretched a little thin. DJ hoping, though, that he can get some of that extra horsepower, maybe get himself a win and put himself into the chase on a wild card slot. And one of those 2 that took the wild card last season was Carter Friesen. Friesen 3rd quickest now and driving for the Sauber Racing Team. They were pretty much out of a driver when they were coming down. As you see, Duncan is going to bring that number 33 down pit road, almost contact with Curtis. But Carter Friesen ran decently in the first half of the year and sucked in the second half of the year. One of the 4 drivers who shouldn't have been in the chase. He made it in on a wild card spot in that 85 after his win at Atlanta, which would have gone to Curtis if Curtis won that race. Curtis could have got the wild card slot. Probably would have done better at Monster with that. But Sauber Racing Team was scrambling for a driver. Carter Friesen was the best on the market. He has Cup experience. We'll see what he can do. 3rd quickest is nothing to laugh at. Just a 2/10 off. As now you see Kukalon jumps up into 2nd in that Shade Burkhart Racing 19, so it's a Toyota front row there, basically, in this testing session. But Carter Friesen at Sauber looking to have a good time. There is Mac Johnson in the 34. This is a last-minute entry into this testing session. Mac just found out that he can get a free Cup car, as the NSDCA still has that promotion going on to get a bigger Cup field, and that really worked out with 38 full-time entries this year. But Mac Johnson's going to be driving this car for his own team, just a handful of races. Unsure if it will be going to Daytona or not, but he is in this 34 car currently, 25th quickest. Not bad at all for the road course guy there in that number 34. There's Cody Goforth. Already talked about him. He's the fastest on track right now. There's Max Anderson in the new Fords this year. They got a couple new Fords, mainly a new Ford front end. The back end's a little bit of the same, but the front end is different. So we'll see if that can finally get Ford into victory lane. They have no Cup Series wins, no Cup Series success at all, with Zachary Racing pretty much falling out in the Cup Series. They don't have an entry here. And you got Max Anderson, who is not supposed to, or is not many fans and drivers' first choice to get into a Cup ride. He ran well last year for Joseph Strigley Racing. He ran well last year for Tony Zhang Motorsports even. But we'll have to see if this 12 team, there are a lot of unknowns with Rockstar Energy Racing. Kukalon couldn't get a win last year, but ran very well. We'll see if Anderson can break through for that. And there is the other Rockstar Energy Racing driver, Gatlin Downey, in the number 69. Nice. Ford Mustang. We'll see if Downey, now moving back to Rockstar Energy Racing for the first time since he went, since he got injured, basically, 3 years ago at Watkins Glen. He came back to Gatlin Downey Incorporated, drove last season there. He's back in RER equipment, and this is not a brand new car. This is the 72 from last season. So we will see what Downey can do in probably worse equipment than he ran in that 35 car. So hopefully Downey will be able to run well, but it's really going to be a toss-up to see if he will or not. And there is another of the drivers that just missed the chase but ran very well last year. That's Carson Bowers in the Andrade 25. This Dodge team, as we're coming down now, you see just halfway through this testing session, but it is Carson Bowers in this 25, your season 4 Crown Royal Truck Series champion from 2 years ago, of course. no longer the defending champion, as Jay Jefferson is the defending champ of both of the top 2 series. Bowers is a strong driver, a 2-time champion in the NSDCA, nothing to laugh at, and has locked in for another 3 seasons at Onge Auto. You'll be seeing him in this 25 for a long time, and we'll see if Bowers can finally make the chase this year, as Jay Jefferson in the 48 has gone to the top. Logan Cloud returns to pedal-to-metal racing. Of course, last year he retired, then came back, just like Jacob Edson, but he had to fulfill his contract, and that was a 3-year contract with pedal-to-metal racing. They were allied with Monster Motorsports last season, so he could drive at the MM car in that number 50, but now he is back as Austin Murray is out of the Cup ride. Cloud will be taking this car back into this series, but it looks like a bit of a learning curve for him. Only 18th quickest in a car that made the chase last year, and a driver that had chances at wins last year. But he will have a full-time run this year. We'll see how close he can get to the chase run. Another Rookie of the Year contender is Alex Banyako in the 83, taking over Ryan Butcher's ride at Shade Burkhart Racing. He is currently seated 24th fastest, though he had a very strong truck in the Pocono truck session just about a couple days ago. Banyako is a bit of a mystery. Finally broke through with his first Truck Series win last season at Darlington, but really he missed the chase. All of SBR missed the chase last year in the Truck Series. Only Brady made it in the Cup, so this year is really just a rebuilding year. They have their top drivers in the top car. They got some good free agents over the offseason, and they have some good success back in this field, or back in the lower series. They have a lot of good drivers, so we'll see if Banyako can do it, as he's going to bring that 83 down pit road. There's Christian Vargas in the 08. This is Sauber Racing Team's second entry. Not much to say about Vargas. He's driving only a part-time schedule this year for Sauber. He's just here to get some experience in that Pocono car. And there he is, the king, Jay Jefferson, already up a 10th over Cody Goforth. Finally got his setup nailed down, and a very strong driver. The 48 truck was the top of charts with Colton Yo in the Truck Series testing. Now it's Jay Jefferson to the top, and he's starting last season where he finished. He's starting this season where he finished last season, on the top. He won at Kansas to lock away the title on a last lap pass on Brady Burkhart. This 48 team is bad fast. There's nothing to say about it for Texas Star Racing other than that they will be winning races this year. They have a threat to win week in and week out, especially these speedways. Those will be the places that we'll see this 48 car shine. Jacob Edson returns to Shade Burkhart Racing in an interesting move that they keep Edson and not Butcher. Both have had the same amount of success here at SBR, and this, of course, last year was his first full-time year in a couple of years, and first full-time, I believe, not on his own team. So this 82 driver, he spent last year kind of getting ready for it. At Richmond, he ran very well in the spring, almost won that race, but otherwise, it was pretty mediocre for Edson, looking for a revamp coming into this year. There is the 16, Irving Allison, the rookie. As there's some contact up there. Don't know who that was. Might have been Roger Ray getting onto the track. But there's Irving Allison, another Rookie of the Year contender. Won 2 races last year for Shade Burkhart Racing. And I believe he missed the chase because he was not inside the top 20 in points. So that 82 team, did he miss the chase? I don't remember. But I think he did miss the chase. He had 2 races won. He only had 1 before the chase. That might have been what ruined him because he didn't have enough for a wild card spot. But he is going to be Rookie of the Year contender with Cody Goforth, his teammate. Both of them doing well as Onjack's in the wall. If that was off the bumper at Jay Jefferson, there's about to be some fighting words down here in turn number 3. So we'll go ahead and take a quick look at this to see what happened with Peter. And it is... championship rivals from last season not playing nice this time, as Jefferson throws it to the inside on Onjak, right into the back of him and puts him in the wall. So Peter Onjak goes spinning around and damages up a pretty good 44 car with his championship rival last season. I don't know if that was just playing around or what, but wow. Those two are not happy with each other right now, and Onjak not happy on the radio, complaining now that his car is all beat up. And there's Roger Ray coming down pit road. Haven't talked about him yet, but this is a brand new car for Onge Auto as he disappears behind the wall. Ray ran well last season in the Truck Series, coming back this year with a Cup ride. Hopefully we'll see some good success from him. Still winless in his NSDCA career. Larry Hagan won at Pensacola last year. Pensacola no longer on the track, so he'll have to find another track to win at, but he is a road course ace. His only 2 NSDCA wins coming on the road courses at Road America and Pensacola. Can Larry get himself into the chase again? He was an actual contender through the middle part of the chase, but was just too far back with basically no chase bonus points heading in. Very little success last year, but he did get that one race win. He wasn't that high in the point standings if it wasn't for the chase. So Larry just looking for a rebuild this year, looking to get some momentum and push himself possibly towards a chase berth. 28 O'Reilly Spurley-Tube. This car is going to be full-time this year, and Spurley-Tube, of course, he's in the 28 in the Truck Series for Sauber, but he is in the Cup ride for this 28 team. It's the same 28 car that they ran last season part-time, just full-time now. You see him working with Ryan Butcher there. Spurley-Tube's 10th quickest, Butcher still 37th quickest, so I think Spurley-Tube might have been put out there to try to help Butcher get some lines in that 88 car and get some draft down these long straightaways. 10 minutes left. We've gone through a good portion of the field. Got to keep going quickly. Evan Hunter in the 07 will be driving for Mountain Dew Custom Series team on Auto next season in the 44 car that Daniel Kobza won 4 races in. Nothing else to say about this KGM equipment. Part-time again. Well, part-time with multiple drivers. I believe this car is full-time next year, but there will be multiple drivers in the ride. 06 this weekend, Zach Rogers. He's made a few starts with Harman Benning Peterson before. This car, 39th quickest. Not much to say about that other than they're lucky that they still have this test car in the garage after as many just crashes that their regular cars had last season. They might have to pull this one out to Daytona this year. But Zach Rogers not doing much. He's just holding down the fort, trying to keep that 06 clean, trying to get them as much information as they can. Brady Burkhart was your regular season champion last year, did not win the title, was far from it. He ran very poorly in the chase, only got the 1 win at Indianapolis last year, but was extremely consistent until we began the 8-race chase, as they are 3 wide up in front, passing Roger Ray there. Burkhart in the 99 car right now. Again, an equipment swap doesn't look like it's hurting him. He's 8th quickest right now in that 99. Matthew Eves returns to Cloud Foster Racing operations after a poor season in comparison to teammate Dusty Neal. Neal was in the chase fighting for a championship. Eves was in 21st, trying not to be the last full-time driver in points. He was pretty much abysmal for most races last year, had great runs at the super speedways like we see from this 47 car, but we'll see if Eves can bring it back up this season. CFRO went with just the 2 cars, 2 full-time cars with the same 2 full-time drivers. We'll see what Eves can do this year and see if he can get themselves a race win maybe on those super speedways. Colton Lane won at Road America last year, finally gets his full-time opportunity back in his number 60 that he ran in the Truck Series. Moves from 05, which was supposed to be a multi-top driver car last season, got moved to just Colton Lane after he won, so he could make the chase, and now Colton Lane missed the chase. Still ran pretty poorly outside of Road America in the first few races once the equipment started kind of gapping. He wasn't doing so hot, so this time he's going to look for much better runs, as he's going to get a bit aggressive with the 55 there. Might have gotten into the back quarter panel of him as he moves on by, so that's Diego's old teammate that really those two were not driving very nicely with each other last year. So maybe that was a bit of a message there, but Colton Lane in this 60 car. He is 14th quickest. Monster Motorsports not doing bad at all. They do have a 10th place, an 8th and a 10th place one with Porta and Curtis, and Lane 14th in that 60 car. As we continue on down, taking a look at the rest of the grid here, there is Tib Foster. Let's not say he's just a road course ace. Looks like a super speedway prodigy there as well. Won both Daytona races, ran well at Talladega, and in this X-Side Batteries 40, which X-Side comes back on the car for a full-time run at Onge Auto, Tib is ready to get himself back into victory lane and possibly go back-to-back at the Sundrop 500. This car's bad fast. He's bad fast, and he's great at the super speedways. We'll see if this 40 team can get himself into victory lane again, possibly get himself back into the chase and have a shot at a championship. Looking the rest of the way down here, there's Jesse Turner in the 04, part-time car for Anjado this year. Ran very poorly in the Dytek Motorsports number 29. That's why he got booted from that Mountain Dew Custom Series ride. Anjado taking him on for another full-time year in the Truck Series, part-time in this 04. There's Zachary Dillo, the other driver that moved to Monster Motorsports, and the other driver that really is just looking for anything to go right for him. Hasn't won in 2 years, has only driven for Zachary Racing full-time in the NSDCA until this year, and longtime sponsor Applebee's has left the 57 team. Again, not sure if that's because of Monster Motorsports or just because he's been having some poor success or no success in the NSDCA. He is in that 57 car, 12th quickest right now for Monster Motorsports. Anderson Reed in the Wawa 3 is living it up out here in Pocono, because this is Wawa country compared to Sheets, but he is running horribly at 36th quickest for this 3 team, where his teammates are currently 8th, 10th, 12th, 15th, and Diego's 21st. So Reed is running the worst out of all 6 Monster Motorsports drivers. He gets the boot from Anjado, moves over to Monster Motorsports to restart his career. We'll see if the Wawa Mobile can get into victory lane this year. Didn't run too hot in cup races either. Mostly ran for his own team last year in the 1, as he really gets close and nice and acquainted with Mac Johnson. Looking the rest of the way, Stephen Wallace Jr. there in the 65. 20th quickest for GDI, comes back to GDI after going full-time once again with CFRO in the Truck Series. Wallace Jr. ran decently in the Cup races, had a few chances at a win, especially Memphis. I think both Memphis races he was really good at, and Memphis, I believe, is getting 2 spots next year. I think it's retaining the spring and fall dates because it was a pretty good short track the second time, or at least in the Cup Series. So we'll see what SWJ can do. 20th quickest today ain't good, but it is a GDI car. I don't think there's much you can do with that GDI equipment in the Cup Series. They ran very strong at Iowa, though, and if that's anything to say about it, maybe their short track pace is much better than their high oval pace. Adam Mitchell in the 29. This Dytek car is going part-time this year once again. Adam Mitchell, really just a random one. He is at SBR this year in the Mountain Dew Custom Series, but not running in the Cup Series or Truck Series full-time, but most likely will be getting some starts at Toyota with Dytek, with maybe even BGM in the Truck Series with that part-time or that multiple driver 01 truck this year, or 17, something's part-time or multiple drivers at BGM, but it is Adam Mitchell putting down laps, currently 34th quickest. Looking through real quick, seeing if there are any drivers that we did indeed miss. Roger Ray, we kind of missed, kind of hit on that. Just going to be running this year for Anjado. We'll see how strong he can do in a car that is brand new. But it looks like we have indeed covered the whole field. So we'll go ahead, find a nice group of drivers to watch kind of race around as they're practicing. And it looks like it's going to be this pack here of some underfunded cars and William Duncan. For Dytek, you see the 06, 61, 57. But let's take a look, analyze that those lap times real quick. With Jay Jefferson, the only one in a 53.7. Of course, that's to be expected. A bad fast 48, the best in the field with the best driver in the field, is over rookie Cody, or not rookie Cody Goforth. Why did I say Goforth was a rookie earlier in the broadcast? He is not. He drove the 27 into the chase in a 6th place run last season. But he is 2nd fastest for that 17 team. 3rd fastest, Sebastian Kukalon. Max Anderson and the 12, I don't know if that was a drafting time or what, but he now sits 4th quickest on the board. That is great for Rockstar Energy Racing. Dusty Neal is 5th for CFRO. 6th is Friesen, who has not really went faster since his opening few laps. Larry Hagan 7th, Maddie Porta 8th, Peter Onjak 9th, and DJ Curtis currently 10th. Burkhart, DeLello, Spurley Tube, Carson Bowers, Vince Freeze, your top 15. That's a few more drivers that are very fast in this grid. Brandon Morris, 16th. Joseph Strigley, who blew an engine early, is 17th fastest. That's great to see for the 63, who is currently on pit road if we can find him. That hunt is over now, but he is 17th quickest. Great to see for JSR, and this is the track that injured him last year after he got hit basically head on, literally into the roof at Pocono. 18th is Austin Johnson, 19th Tib Foster, 20th Stephen Wallace Jr. Yepes 21st, not really, I don't want to say Not really surprising, because it is surprising to see Yepes that slow on a big track, but he is in that Monster Motorsports equipment. If I can find him, I think I missed him somewhere. There he is. He's fighting with Irving Allison and Turner right now. But Yepes is in the Monster Motorsports equipment. That team really had nothing to work with. They had 5 cars last year, but it's not like all of them were equal in upgrades. They also have the 27 over. I forget who got Cody Goforth's North Border Motorsports ride, but we know Yepes is not in the best car at Monster Motorsports, and he will be struggling back here, probably fighting to get into the top 10 again this year, but don't count him out. He is one of the best for a reason. He has not gone winless in a year that he's driven at Monster Motorsports full time. Logan Cloud 22nd, William Duncan is 23rd, not bad for Ditech there. Roger Ray 24th, Matthew Eves 25th, Evan Hunter, Eli Bright, Alex Banyako 28th for Banyako. That's concerning for that 83 team. Not sure if it's not the without draft or what, but the 19 and 16, those Toyotas look to be the bad fast ones this time around. We're looking also Mac Johnson 29th and Jacob Edson 30th. I don't know what you can say about Edson. This is the same car, equipment, team that he ran with last year, and it's just not clicking. So they must be doing something experimental, or he just is not clicking this season. Must have just got off a plane too, because he is a pilot during the off season for American Airlines. He will be driving making a team with American Airlines Mountain Dew Custom Series this year. As this testing session does come to an end, we'll look at the remainder of this grid. Chris Stoudemire 31st. Honestly, faster than I thought it would be, as they're going 3 wide back here. One of them being Austin Johnson is not a nice call. Butcher and Curtis, I thought, got into it last year in the Cup Series a couple times. I forget who it was. I know Curtis, I think, was fighting someone a couple races. Gatlin Downey 32nd, Butcher 33rd. Brand new race car, but still, that is horrible for that 88 team. 34th is Adam Mitchell. 35th being Irving Allison. I don't know if you can... I don't remember if it has... That's Eli Bright, not Irving. There's Irving. I don't know about that one. That BGM car looks slow. Anderson Reed in 36th, though. He might have the 95 equipment. Maybe that's why he's slow, because I know the 95 was the worst car on the team, but that is poor for a full-time Rookie of the Year contender for Monster Motorsports. Christian Vargas 37th, Zach Rogers 38th, 39th is Kyle Corbett, 40th is Jesse Turner. So, as the field comes on around, we'll go back up to the top. It is Jefferson on the top of the grid with the 17 of Goforth second, Kukalon third, Max Anderson 4th, Dusty Neal 5th, then Friesen, Hagan, Porta, Onjak, and Curtis, your top 10. As we come to the end of this testing session here at Pocono, it was an exciting session, was pretty clean outside of the incident with Onjak and Jefferson, and as the drivers take their cars into the garage area to signify the end of this testing session, we'll give you one last look at the running order there. Jefferson, Goforth, Kukalon, Anderson, and Dusty Neal, your top 5, with Reed, Vargas, Rogers, Corbett, and Turner, your bottom 5. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Pocono. We will be heading, I don't know where the next test is for the Cup Series, but the next test that will be broadcasted will be the Gateway event for the Truck Series. Sure to be exciting, still have a bit of action left in this off-season. Jay Jefferson tops the charts here at Pocono. We thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you guys next time on the NSDCA.